I kind of want to ask, so you do a lot of cotton and corn and soy. How does that affect deer? I imagine it's pretty similar to Iowa, where growing up on a farm like you did, or I did, has quite a bit of benefit when it comes to hunting.
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, we did not have deer through here. Um, as a matter of fact, I killed my first deer in Alabama in on our farm when I was, I think, 20. Um, we always duck hunted and goose hunted, and then the ducks and the geese left, but the deer started coming in. And where I am, I mean, it's probably more like the Midwest as opposed to South Alabama, where it's more pine trees and that kind of thing. Through here, it's smaller woodlots, bigger fields for the most part in the valley. But you get further south. I mean, not too far away, it becomes more hilly and lots of uh, lots of deer clubs, and they kill nice deer there for sure. Uh, we have probably a lower density right through here as opposed to other parts of Alabama.
You said you're in northwest or northeast Alabama.
Northwest.
How far from the Mississippi Tennessee corner are you?
I can probably be in Tennessee in 30 minutes, and I can be in Mississippi in about 40.
40.
I'm on Our farm is on the Tennessee River, but we're on the south side of the river.
Okay. Yeah, you're still a long ways from me, but you're also a long ways from. I mean, you're not that much further from me than Central Florida, probably.
My dad grew up in Ocala, and he and my mama met at Auburn. I think it takes about 10 or 11 hours to get to Ocala. It's been several years since I've been back down.
Yeah, you're probably about 10 hours away from me. It's interesting. You wouldn't think, or at least I don't think of Alabama as an ag state, but I'm sure every state has plenty of ag, whether it's row crops, corn, soy, or tomatoes, apples, oranges.
Uh, there tomatoes, not really. I mean, um, when people have gardens around here, I mean, it's usually for them. I mean, there are some orchards like peaches and that kind of thing a little further south.
Well, now that we got a little bit of taste of who you are, let's kind of back up a little bit. You said you were 20 when you shot your first deer, is that right?
The first deer I killed, I think I was 18. The first deer I killed on our farm was when I was 20.
How'd you get started hunting?
I hunted with my dad, duck hunting and following bird dogs. We Back when we had, a few coveys of quail around. Our quail population was decimated, and I think that was loss of habitat. Uh, People cutting down hedgerows and making bigger fields, and um, more predators. And I mean, I squirrel hunted when I was a kid, that kind of thing.
How old were you when you got started hunting with your dad?
I was following him around probably when I was 6 or 7. I wouldn't carry a gun, but I'd walk in his footsteps the whole time. So I killed my first duck, I think, when I was probably 10 or 11. And that's about the time I started dove hunting too. And dove hunting is probably the one hunting thing that I've really kept going for all those years since.
Let's go back to how you got started. Your dad, was he not a deer hunter, mostly waterfowl and upland?
That's correct. We just did not have deer through here. I mean, there were deer in central and south Alabama, but right through our area, we did not start getting deer until about 30 years ago.
Really? What do you think changed?
I think the deer finally started filtering back in after they had been decimated for so long, and there were always populations further south, but not through this area.
Now, when you were a kid, I'm sure you knew a little bit about deer and all that stuff and where they were. How did it make you feel knowing that you hear stories about people hunting deer and you don't have anywhere you're at. Maybe you didn't know any better when you
You
were a
know, it
kid.
didn't really bother me back then. I mean, I can remember being in middle school and I would I would want to sit there and read the Field and Stream and Outdoor Life magazines when when I was in the library instead of looking at books for sure, trying to find if that makes sense. I mean, I was reading the magazines while I should have been checking out books.
Did your grades reflect that?
Oh yeah, probably. My parents had a house in town, and so to go to a little bit bigger school, and then we would come back to the farm every weekend. We had cows back then too. Thankfully, we got rid of them.
I'm looking at the rut map. You talked about not having any deer, and it's very fascinating when you look at the rut map for specifically very far south and southeast United States. And there's a wide variety of peak rut months in northwest Alabama. Looks like it can be not November, or you can go 50 miles and be January or December.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Alabama probably has as diverse a rut as you can possibly imagine. Here where I am, I mean, our peak of the rut's about December the 5th through the 20th or 22nd of December. If you haven't killed a deer through here by Christmas, you're probably not going. I don't know if that's just the pressure or what it is. You get down further south, there are deer that are rutting during the beginning of turkey season.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the map. You said December. It looks like just northern Alabama, kind of along the northern border, is December. Then if you go further south, it goes into January, but there's a little pocket that looks like it's about 3 counties. That's November.
Right, that's probably Winston County, and part of Lawrence County.
Just doesn't make any sense how 1 or 2 counties could be November, and then the rest of the state is January.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. They brought in a lot of northern strain deer in areas, and so I think that has something to do with our rut. From what I've understood, there's Michigan blood, there's Wisconsin blood, and then the further south you go, that's more the native kind of blood.
It looks like the peak rut expands across 3 months in Alabama, which is pretty diverse compared to where we're at, but it's 7 months in Florida. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, I've got a buddy in South Florida, and he says their rut, is in July.
Really?
Kind of wild. I mean, they're an interesting species for sure. I think they're what 30 or 40 different subspecies across the United States.
Is there really? I didn't realize that. I mean, all whitetails kind of look the same to me. I knew they were a lot smaller in Texas.
I mean, I hunted in Kansas last year. I mean, I was amazed when the first doe came out and she looked like a cow to me. She was so big.
Really?
Our does through here probably average 115 to 120 pounds. Further south, it's smaller. And that doe, I mean, I would say she was 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Okay, let's go back to your younger years. You just didn't have any deer, so you did a lot of waterfowl. Was it a lot of hunting with your dad, or did you have some buddies in school that you'd go out with?
When I was real young, like, I was tagging along with my dad, on those duck hunts. I may not carry a shotgun, but I was there. I was probably 11 or 12 before I really started carrying a gun myself. And it was just watching him.
He didn't trust you?
No, I think it was just I was tiny. I mean, I didn't start growing until I was like 18 years old. I mean, I was 5'1" or 5'2" and just little. And I finally got big enough to carry a gun, and then I hit a pretty good growth spurt.
Is duck hunting still pretty big where you're at?
We don't have the ducks like we used to. I mean, people still duck hunt. People hunting river ducks and, well, where we were hunting pothole ducks, mallards and that kind of thing. There's still some mallards around. We used to have a huge population of geese over at the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge back when I was, growing up. They started disappearing probably when I was in ninth or 10th grade. Now we have lots and lots of sandhill cranes.
Do people hunt those?
Yeah, you have to draw a tag, go through a application process and get drawn. And I think you get 2 or 3 tags if you're successful.
The ribeye of the sky?
That's right. They're delicious.
Are they really?
Oh yeah.
2 or 3 tags, you can only kill 2 or 3?
That's right. Yeah, you kill 3 birds and then you're done. And then you have to check them in.
Is there just a limited population?
I think there's a pretty good population. I don't know the numbers as far as applicants versus successful tag holders, but you have to be an Alabama resident to apply for those tags. It's limited. But the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, I mean, I don't know the numbers of birds on that place right now. They're all over like the observation area. They have a crane festival. I think it was a couple weeks ago where people all over the country come to check out these cranes. I think I read that there are currently 18 whooping cranes there right now.
Really? Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, we have some around here. They come in and out. You see them once in a while, but nobody really hunts them around here.
Right.
Okay, then as you're growing up and you're doing some of this different style hunting and whatnot, and you finally started to get some deer in your area, kind of describe that. Was everybody just pretty excited about the situation?
Oh yeah, and it's become bigger and bigger ever since. Honestly, I've killed a bunch of deer now. I mean, back then we went from a buck a day limit. Rifle season started the weekend before Thanksgiving and ended up on the 31st of January. And so, yeah, you could kill a buck a day in the state of Alabama during that time. We've recently, probably within the past 15, 16 years, gone from a buck a day to $3 a year.
A buck a day?
A buck a day.
How do you support that?
Well, you don't. Thank goodness they did change it. Where I am, we've gotten a lot more deer now. I don't think our deer are growing as big as they were 20, 25 years ago.
Really?
I think my dad's biggest deer scored 174, and I'm not sure what the problem is. I think maybe it's just more mouths.
Overall size has gotten smaller?
It has. It has. I have heard that an emerging deer herd, the individuals are bigger. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I mean, you still hear of deer that are, 165, 170-inch deer being killed, but I think most of our deer are probably getting killed before they turn 4.5.
And you think that's because the hunting popularity for whitetails has picked up since they kind of made a comeback?
I think that has a lot to do with it. I also think that it's really tough for these deer in the late part of the summer with parasites, EHD, that kind of thing, wiping out lots of deer before they get to a certain age.
Yeah, I can see that. I haven't personally had to deal with the EHD, but I have a lot of friends that had deer herds just take a dive this past year.
Right. I think Tennessee and Kentucky were hit really, really, really hard this year. I think 2 years ago we were hit really hard. I mean, we see lots of bucks, in the year and a half to 2.5 year old age. They get up to 3.5, and those become harder to see. I think the pressure, I mean, of having a season that starts, well, bow season starts on the 15th of October and runs until February the 10th now. Rifle season in this area, the Saturday before Thanksgiving until the 10th of February. And so there is a lot of pressure. Maybe our deer are pressured to the point where it's just tough on them. Kansas has a 10-day, I think, rifle season. They're just not seeing the pressure. And I will say that I think Alabama deer are harder to kill than Kansas deer.
Why do you say that?
I think Kansas deer are a lot more aggressive They're more willing to come to grunts, come to rattling, that kind of thing. Whereas Alabama deer, I mean, these smart old does, they train those little bucks pretty quickly, and it just becomes harder and harder.
Where you live in Alabama, is it flat or is there a lot of terrain features?
Right through our area, I mean, I'm in right here in the valley. It's pretty flat right through here. Now you get 15 miles south, it becomes more hilly.
When you were in Kansas, was it flat?
It was basically flat, lots of alfalfa, lots of big, I mean, fields. I mean, it's just completely different than hunting here. Those deer, I mean, they're pretty well in those draws, like the little creeks and rivers and that kind of stuff. You know, you look over that vast prairie, I guess it is, and you think there's not a thing out here. Then all of a sudden, out come 8 or 10 of the biggest does I've ever seen in my life. I killed my buck out there on the second day, and I mean, I was supposed to be there a week. I kind of wish I'd held out, but I mean, when that deer came out, I'd never seen mass on a deer like that, and I was like, I'm gonna shoot that fella.
My theory on the calling is the more open it is, especially in like ag country, the harder it is to call them in because they might be 600, 700 yards away. They hear a call and they can see like there's literally no bucks fighting. Where's that sound coming from?
Right. I had a rattlebag when I was out there the morning that I killed my deer. She kind of stood 150 yards away, just kind of looking where I was and didn't see bugs. So she just kind of went back to where she came from. 20 minutes later, my deer came out. And I don't know if he ever heard that or not, but honestly, I think he was probably just cruising.
Yeah. So going back to Alabama, what's the hunting culture like there? Does everybody hunt? Do people take it pretty serious or they just like to get out and join the camaraderie?
You know, that's the one cool thing about clubs is there are some really tightly knit clubs that people are really, I think they're real close. Now, I mean, there is competition. I'm sure that you're going to have club members that don't get along with each other. I'm just glad to see people kill nice deer, and I'm not gonna, you know, if it's not me, I'm not gonna fret over it. Back when I was younger, I was more worried about it.
You're in a club?
No, no, I hunt private farms.
Clubs aren't a thing where I'm at.
Right. I mean, there's still some dog clubs that's kind of cool. It used to be that, you know, somebody killed a spike and, you know, in one of those dog clubs, I mean, everybody was happy for them.
Oh, what club?
A dog hunting club where they run dogs, chase the deer with dogs. I've did that one time. I thought it was a blast. I never saw a deer, but I mean, and we didn't kill any deer that day. It was interesting to me. And the dogs were running through the fields. And I mean, you expected to see a deer at any time, but I never saw one.
Was there just not a lot of deer where you're at?
I think there were lots of deer there. It was just further south. I think it was the last weekend of the dog season. I think the deer had kind of gotten smarter and knew where the stands were. And
You would think it'd be pretty hard for the dogs to not get on the deer.
oh yeah, they were on them for sure.
They were running them, just not by you.
Correct. I don't know. You know, there weren't enough people there that day or what.
So, are you primarily out hunting by yourself, or you got some buddies that you kind of work with?
I mean, I know the landowners around us. I mean, they hunt as well. They all kill pretty good deer every year, I think. We see some pretty good deer every year, and none of us are just decimating anything, though.
Really? I was gonna ask something, but I forgot. Okay, you said you're more interested in trapping or tracking?
The deer tracking instead of hunting. I mean, hunters call me if they have a deer that's been lost, can't find, and then I get my dogs out there and we try to recover them.
Are drones not that big where you're at yet?
They are getting bigger. I still believe that a well-trained dog is far superior to a drone.
And why do you think a well-trained dog is far superior to a drone?
Well, I mean, our dogs only go by the scent. I mean, that that a wounded deer puts off from his interdigital glands. And if the deer's still alive, my dogs will fight it.
Find it or fight it?
They will fight it. I mean, actually, go in there, find the deer, and bay it up until I can go in there and kill it.
So in Alabama, you're allowed as a tracker to kill the deer,
Oh yeah, yeah, we're just dispatching it. I mean, it's still the hunter's deer.
even without a tag?
We're working with the hunter at that point to locate their deer. They have already made the initial shot. We're usually not going after deer that would survive. They won't survive.
And what kind of dog?
I have a Catahoula, two black mouth curs, and a Dogo Argentina.
And how often are you running them for track jobs?
Oh gosh, I don't know how many tracks we've been on this year. There guys out there that are finding a lot more deer than I am. Um, I'm up to 20 or so for the year, I guess. I think our highest numbers low 30s. We had such a mild start of the season that I think our numbers were down because it just wasn't hunting weather. I mean, we found one this morning that was shot yesterday afternoon.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Was it dead?
that one was dead. We have found them as far as 36 hours after the shot.
What's the craziest thing you've seen on a recovery in terms of should have been a good shot and made it way further than what it should have?
Usually, if a deer, if you hit a deer right, it's not like there's some kind of supernatural creature. I mean, they're gonna, or at least our Alabama deer, they're not gonna usually go more than a few hundred yards on a good shot. We have tracked them miles
On a good shot?
on a good, yeah, on a good shot. I mean, they usually, a few hundred yards. I mean, that is about their max.
You would think you said deer aren't supernatural. I get that. But you would think if you get exposed enough or there's enough deer shot, there's freak stuff that happens, whether it's broadhead deployment or anything like that, where like the deer should have died and double lung and went way further than what it should have.
And I do think some deer are tougher than others. I mean, I think they're just like people. A rutting buck, you know, in December is, I mean, they can go a ways for sure. And you can see all that blood and wonder, how in the world is this deer still alive? But as a tracker, a little bit of blood can look like a lot of blood. That's from personal experience. And people think, well, I just can't understand why he went that far, or the blood just stopped. A deer has an innate ability to clot up 200 times quicker than a human being can. It's a survival mechanism that they have.
That's why I'm saying you might have a better chance of winning the lottery, but there's got to be at least a very, very, very small chance that you stick a arrow with a broadhead through both lungs and some freak deal happens where they survive. It might be like 1 out of 1 million, but I guarantee it's happened before.
A deer can be clipped in the top of a lung, hit high, and they can heal up, and still be alive and survive it.
On a double hit on a high lung?
I don't know about a double hit, but I mean, possibly.
I mean, if a arrow goes through both lungs and doesn't have full pass through and the arrow is sticking out both sides of the deer and somehow the arrow breaks off flush on both sides, there's probably a decent chance that deer could survive if stuff seals up right. Freak stuff like that can happen. It's probably pretty rare, but
I would think it's pretty rare. And I mean, my dogs, if a deer can be recoverable, they're going to get it. Now, the deer might drown in a creek or something, but we won't. Of course, we're not going to be able to get that.
just because your dogs lose scent and all that stuff.
I think the deer just expires out there in the creek and you just aren't able to recover it.
Are the creeks pretty deep where you're at?
Oh, yeah. They absolutely can be. And they can be pretty wide. and especially if we've had a bunch of rain. I mean, they're rolling.
What do you mean creek? Like a river?
Man, I'll tell you what, I've seen different parts of the country, and I mean, we lived in California when I was in the eighth and ninth grade, and the San Joaquin River was very it looked more like one of our creeks. It was not what I was expecting. It was fairly narrow. The Tennessee River, I mean, it's pretty wide in parts. Like right here where our farm is, it's well over a mile. It's a lake.
You call that a creek?
No, that's the river, the Tennessee River,
Okay, a mile wide.
over a mile wide. Yeah,
Is it dammed up or something?
it is dammed. Yeah, I mean, there's a series of dams. It, they were built during the New Deal, FDR's New Deal, and which brought power to this part of the country. Electricity, all part of the Tennessee Valley Authority. And I mean, it stretches, I mean, up into Tennessee, and it starts up in Tennessee or Virginia, I guess, goes through Tennessee around Knoxville, and then comes back up or dips down into Alabama, and then goes back up into around Nashville, maybe, and then up into Kentucky or somewhere where it eventually leads into maybe it dumps into the Ohio River, and which eventually goes into the Mississippi.
Is deer season still going on where you're at?
It is. It's going until February the 10th. So we have another about a week and a half. I'll be glad when it's over.
It runs that late every year. What season do they got going on?
What season? I mean, it's bucks and does.
Weapon.
What's that now?
What weapon is the season now?
Oh, it's rifle and archery. I mean, yeah, you can bow hunt right now. The bow season starts in October and ends February the 10th. Rifle season starts the Saturday before Thanksgiving and runs till February the 10th.
Okay. Why are you going to be glad it's over?
I just think the deer need a break. Not down in South Alabama. I mean, their rut's just now kicking in, but I mean, I'm kind of basically over it for the year.
It's such a long season. We've been done in Iowa for several weeks now.
Uh huh. I mean, Tennessee, I think they have their early season. Well, they have a velvet hunt maybe the last weekend of August or so. And then their bow season starts in September, and then rifle season starts later, maybe a week or two before us. And then I think they're done by the first weekend of January. But yeah, we have really long seasons here.
There's not a lot of need to go much past January 1, in my opinion.
Like the rut in central Alabama is just now starting. So I can understand why they would have their season the end of February would probably be fine. I think the state of Alabama does try to give everybody an opportunity to be able to hunt the rut, which is good. And so we do have such a diverse deer population that they're doing their best.
Yeah, and it's tough when the rut's spread out over 3 months. Are most people hunting from start to finish?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think a lot of areas people hunt the first weekend or maybe another hunt in the middle of the season, and then if they haven't killed anything, then there's kind of a mad dash to get back out in the woods at the end of the season, which I've killed a couple deer this year, so I'm pretty good on all that.
What seasons are you going?
I mean, I'm rifle hunting right now.
Do you do archery at all?
I do not. I mean, I have a crossbow. I'm one of those that would rather kind of lazy guy hunt it. Right through here, I mean, I think it'd be harder for us to archery hunt because we don't have the woods like some areas do.
What's the average size timber where you're at?
I would say 50 to 60 acres is pretty good size.
That's about where it is where I hunt.
These fields right through here are bigger though, and I think it's just hunting with a rifle makes it easier.
How big are the fields where you're at?
I mean, one or two of them I might be able to see a mile.
Really?
I'm not able to hunt the whole thing, but, of course, but yeah, I mean, 400, 500, 600 yards shots are not uncommon.
What's the average field size in terms of acres?
I would say 60 acres up,
40s and 80s?
40s and 80s. Yeah, I would say 40s kind of on the smaller side. I mean, a big field might be 400 acres.
Yeah, it's probably pretty similar to where we're at. Are you north or south of the Tennessee River?
Our farm is on the river.
So you're just south of the Tennessee River?
Yeah, that's right. I think our farms, we have about a mile of riverfront.
What's the town you're close by to?
Hillsborough and Cortland.
Okay, yep. Yeah, looking at the map, it looks like there's just like a 10-mile basin where it's a lot of crop ground, but once you get 30 or 40 miles south, turns into a lot of heavy timber.
That's correct. Yeah, I'm in Lawrence County.
Okay. Well, before we run into issues with your phone dying, so I usually like to ask each guest to share a couple of embarrassing stories at the end.
Gotcha.
So if you got any, pass them on, man.
Like an embarrassing hunting story?
Yep. Yep.
Gosh, let me think of one. I guess one of the funniest was we were hunting down in more central Alabama. We were in Pickens County, like the Aliceville, Carrollton area. And I mean, it was cold, 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 like the day after Christmas. And I was still in high school at that point. But we all went to the stands, and my dad, he was hunting a big, 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 big clear, and he shot a deer. We get over to where he is. And he goes, "Well, I can't find it." Well, he was looking in the wrong place. Well, we went over to it, and I literally picked it up by its front leg. I mean, it was about the size of a rabbit.
Really?
It might have weighed 25, 30 pounds. It didn't have any spots, but yeah, we took the thing back. I mean, it was a legal deer. It didn't have spots, but we took it back to the camp house, and Dad sat there and like cleaned it in the kitchen sink of the camp house. And so that was kind of bad.
Probably didn't feed you very long.
Yeah, no, it was like veal. It tasted good. Let's see what else. I mean, we have several stories like that were just tiny.
Has there been anything embarrassing happening to you that maybe your family or buddies give you crap to yet to this day?
Man, I would have to ask my brothers. We've had some pretty funny things happen. Several years ago, me and two of my buddies, we were dove hunting, and I mean, one of them's a really, really good shot. He's a good bit better than me. I'm probably I'm probably a little bit better than the other guy. But I mean, we were sitting there hunting, and I don't know, a flock of probably 30 pigeons came in, and we were just in a wide. Well, they all came in a wide, and I mean, they were on top of us. And we emptied our guns, and we did not shoot a freaking pigeon. Not one of them fell. And so we kind of laugh about that. We should have been able to just absolutely demolish them.
You would think so.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Man, I cannot think of any more right now. I mean, I might have to text you and tell you one or two.
Probably not that big of a deal. Can't catch it on the podcast.
Of course, there were the duck hunting stories of out there breaking ice and step into a hole. And then, I mean, you go from knee deep until up over your head looking up. And I mean, that's more scary, I guess, than funny. You're sitting there scurrying to get up out of the water. We were always able to get up. Then you're walking back to the truck full with your, just in your underwear and socks with your gun, and you're freezing to death. And that's always kind of fun to do.
That sounds pretty miserable.
That's pretty awful. I'll tell you what, we were bird hunting once. We were hunting off horses. Well, one of the little guys that was with us, I mean, he was on a huge horse, and he lost his reins. And I mean, the horse is ready to get back home to the pasture so he can eat. And I mean, I don't like horses. I don't like cows. I'm the one who's over there trying to catch this little boy on that great big horse. I mean, finally did catch him, but I think that was more of the horse was willing itself to catch up with his buddy. And that was a little bit tough.
Sounds like your phone's getting ready to die, so we probably better wrap this up.
All righty.
Well, I appreciate you joining for an episode. I probably should have warned you about how to preserve battery on your phone.
Oh yeah, well, I understand that. Well, you all have a great day.